The concept of the light of a Mason is darkness visible is a deep and thought-provoking idea that deserves some exploration. You see, at the heart of this concept, there are a few things at play. There are the depths of human knowledge, the constant battle between good and evil, and our never-ending quest for enlightenment.
The comments, opinions, and views shared during this program are of those individual Freemasons and do not reflect the official position of a Grand Lodge, concordant body, appendant body, Masonic Authority, or craftsmanonline.com.
Welcome to the Daily Masonic Progress Podcast with your host, Right Worshipful Brother Darren Allett.
You know, it's kind of like we're all wandering through a huge and dark forest with just a little torch to light our way. And that's the thing. This metaphor really drives home the idea that there are always going to be limitations to what we know. No matter how hard we try, there are always going to be some truths and mysteries that are just out of our reach. Which is like this little torch, it can only show us a tiny bit of the path ahead, while everything else is still hidden in the shadows. And that is actually what is meant by darkness visible. We can see that there's more out there, but we can't quite grasp it. It's still dark. Now, you might think that this realization would be kind of discouraging. And I know I've been there. But actually, it's important to approach this with the right attitude. You see, instead of getting down about the limits of our knowledge and getting into existential dread, we should embrace it with humility. And humility here isn't about giving up, but recognizing that learning is a never-ending journey. And it should push us and keep us asking questions and seeking answers, even if we know we might never have figured everything out. So moving on to another key part of the concept is the whole idea of good versus evil. And this is a major theme in Freemasonry as well as in works like Paradise Lost. You see, recognizing that evil exists is very important in our journey towards enlightenment. And by understanding the nature of evil as well as how it can tempt us, we can start to become more self-aware as well as grow as individuals, but also help us avoid it. And when we face that darkness head on, and it can be pretty intimidating, but the thing is, it doesn't have to paralyze us. Rather, by confronting it, we can actually sharpen our senses and enrich our quest for moral and spiritual enlightenment. And this helps us become more empathetic and enlightened overall. But there is a kicker. You see, true enlightenment isn't just about relying on rational thought and logic. It's looking beyond that and being open to guidance from a higher power. And this divine or transcendent guidance can really deepen our understanding and offer insights that go beyond the empirical evidence, which encourages us to explore beyond what we can see and to integrate spiritual wisdom with rational thought into our pursuit of truth and knowledge. But let's not forget about the role that suffering and despair play in all of this. We've all been through some tough times, and while those experiences can be really painful, they also hold the potential for some great and deep personal growth. You see, by recognizing that suffering is part of life is the first step towards transformation. And it teaches us that empathy reminds us that our biggest challenges can lead to some pretty profound revelations. So when it comes down to it, this concept is all about embracing the dualities of life, the light and the dark, knowledge and ignorance, good and evil. And it's about recognizing our limitations, but still striving for a deeper understanding and a higher form of enlightenment that goes beyond what we can just see and touch. So in the end, the light of a Mason is darkness visible, highlights the inherent limitations of human knowledge and the pursuit of a higher form of enlightenment that transcends empirical or rational achievements. But it also challenges us to recognize our own limitations and seek a deeper light beyond the human realm, and integrating the spiritual with the rational in our continuous journey towards enlightenment.
This has been the Daily Masonic Progress Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow us on Spotify or subscribe on Apple Podcasts. The Daily Masonic Progress Podcast is available on all streaming platforms with new episodes every week.